Let's talk about estrogen dominance, the silent threat Black women can't afford to ignore. Hey guys, welcome back to Redefine Her. This is where we empower high achieving Black women to break free from self abandonment, reclaim your power, and create deeply fulfilling lives that align with your authentic self. Okay? Get in the room. Now, have you ever felt like your body was betraying you? Like heavy periods, mood swings, unexplained weight gain. And no matter how many doctors you see, no one seems to have answers. Well, you're not crazy, and it's not just in your head. The truth is, it could be estrogen dominance, and no one's talking about it. And so I want to just let you guys know that this is the end of Endometriosis Awareness Month, but I want to emphasize that reproductive health discussions can't stop now. And so if you guys have been with me, you guys know that I was just diagnosed with endometriosis after going through 30 years of chronic pain, which I am still experiencing, but now we have a name to it. Now there's a lot of reasons why I think that it has taken 30 years, right? Me being a Black woman and other reasons, but we're going to get into it a little bit more so that you don't have to spend 30 years being in pain and that you can get the help that you deserve. And so, in this episode, we're going to talk about what is estrogen dominance, why this matters for Black women, signs your body might be out of balance, and the hidden risks no one talks about. Lastly, we're going to talk about how to take control of your health and demand better care. Let's get into it. So, what is estrogen dominance? It occurs when there's too much estrogen relative to progesterone in the body. And estrogen and progesterone work together to regulate the menstrual cycle. Estrogen helps to build the uterine lining, while progesterone balances it out and prepares the body for pregnancy. And when this balance is disrupted, estrogen takes over, leading to a cascade of problems. And so, how does this affect the body? It thickens the uterine lining, causing heavy periods and irregular cycles. It also triggers inflammation and increases the risk of developing fibroids, endometriosis, and other hormonal imbalances. And it impacts your metabolism, contributing to weight gain, mood swings, and fatigue. So for women out here who are like, man, why am I gaining weight? What is happening? I'm eating right? What is going on with my mind, my mood swings, right? You don't have to think that you're crazy and that, you don't have a solution to what's going on with you. If this is happening to you, this is can symbolize that maybe you have some estrogen dominance. And so, why is this a problem? It's because estrogen is essential, but too much of it for too long can lead to chronic pain, hormonal imbalances, and long term health risks. And so, without the proper balance, estrogen dominance puts women at risk for conditions like fibroids, endometriosis, infertility, and even certain cancers. Now, I'm always going to rep the Black girl, right? The Black woman. How is it different for us? And for Black women, these imbalances hit harder due to systemic disparities in healthcare, environmental exposures, and delayed diagnosis. Again, I feel like when I'm talking about my story, I fit in all three of those categories. Now, what causes estrogen dominance? I want to break it down for you. Now, increased estrogen production. This is one reason for estrogen dominance, and this can lead to obesity and fat tissue producing excess estrogen, and its impact on certain medications and hormonal imbalances. And then let's also talk about low progesterone levels. There's a natural decline during perimenopause and menopause. This can also cause estrogen dominance. Chronic stress and adrenal fatigue exacerbating progesterone loss is also a cause. Now, poor estrogen metabolism. Now, the liver plays a role in breaking down estrogen, and sometimes it struggles with excess. And then you have environmental estrogen disruptors. So, like chemicals and plastic beauty products and pesticides mimicking estrogen, right? We always we're in the health conscious world right now, so we're always talking about what we're eating, what we're putting in our body, even what are we putting on our hair, on our face. All these things matter and could contribute to estrogen dominance. Now, here's some signs that your body might be out of balance. which is some common symptoms you may experience. And so heavy or irregular periods could happen, breast tenderness and swelling, again, mood swings, anxiety and irritability, and unexplained weight gain, especially around the hips and the thighs. Also, fatigue and brain fog, and worsening PMS, fibroids, and or endometriosis. But again, it takes time to get those diagnoses with fibroids and endometriosis, but if you have any of the other symptoms, it could be a sign of estrogen dominance that could lead to fibroids and or endometriosis. Now, again, with me, I've been in pain since I was 9 years old. I always tell people that's when I got my period. Before I even got to high school, my dad would have to come and pick me up and give me early dismissals from school because I was in so much pain. Right? Not only was I in pain, but I would come home, I would throw up, I would have to take a really not so nice bowel movement, and then somehow after I did that, my body would be in shock afterwards. And here I am watching all the kids coming home from school, and I'm in the house just like, what's going on with me? Save me from myself. And so because this had traumatized me at a very young age, I would always have ibuprofen, 800 milligrams, on me to counteract, because again, when I would go to the doctor or when I would talk to my mom, it was always this, well, a bad period's run in our family, or it's normal to have like a bad period. And I want to let you know that it is not normal, okay? Not at all to have those kind of menstrual pains. And again, this matters for Black women because we are diagnosed with endometriosis 3 to 11 years later than white women. In my case, it was 30 years later. And the impact of this delayed diagnosis on the disease progression will really, really impact you negatively. And so that's why early advocacy is key. Now let's talk about the silent risk that no one talks about, okay? So again, endometriosis and chronic pelvic pain. Estrogen fuels the growth of endometrial-like tissue outside the uterus, causing inflammation, adhesions, and chronic pelvic pain. Again, I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and that's exactly what I am going through now, trying to find a treatment option. Keep me in prayer. Another risk that no one talks about is breast and ovarian cancer. So long-term exposure to high estrogen levels increases the risk of breast and ovarian cancer by up to 25%. And this is taken from the Lancet 2017 article. The next one is uterine fibroids, which I also had uterine fibroids. Got them removed and just went to the doctor again. They said they see like 2 little bitty fibroids at this time. Estrogen dominance contributes to the growth of fibroids, which disproportionately affects Black women. Black women develop fibroids 3 times more often and at younger ages than white women, leading to increased rates of hysterectomy. Right? Again, what I will always say is doctors are not going to tell you that they know that they don't know something. Rather, they will try to mask it or use a really invasive solution option like a hysterectomy. But there are so many doctors out here who specialize in minimally invasive surgeries that is not their first option. And if anyone is recommending this as a first option, I would definitely go and get a second opinion. Another risk is infertility and reproductive complications. So untreated estrogen dominance can disrupt ovulation, leading to infertility, recurrent miscarriages, and pregnancy complications. And so again, when you are seeing that you have some symptoms and you do desire to have children or things like that, or you find yourself getting pregnant but you're unable to carry a baby to full term, then we want to check on if estrogen dominance is present. And lastly, increased risk of autoimmune disorders. High estrogen is linked to a higher prevalence of autoimmune diseases like lupus and thyroiditis, which disproportionately impact Black women. Again, we matter. And if we don't advocate for ourselves, then who will? And this podcast, that is what I am here to do, to educate you and empower you to go and advocate for yourself. Now, you don't want to fall for misinformation, okay? So instead of people like not going to get the help because maybe they don't trust doctors or maybe they've been conditioned to believe that this is normal, they will decide to engage in like quick fixes like detox teas or fad diets, right? You always hear people saying like, hey, eat this, eat that, or I went vegan or whatever. And I'm not saying that those things are bad. Certainly you want to move towards a healthy lifestyle, but there's no research to substantiate that these in fact will help you eliminate estrogen dominance. It just does not. Estrogen grows on its own, y'all. It will keep on growing. Trust me, I know. They want to consider me for a hysterectomy, but let me tell you something with endometriosis. It may or may not stop my pain. It is not a solution option, it is a treatment option. And so, as long as you are, these quick fixes that you're using, you're considering them a treatment option, just know that it is not a solution and end all be all to your estrogen dominance. That you really want to go and seek the right specialist so that you know exactly what's going on with you. Now, also, I want to talk about if someone's selling you a product that promises to reset your hormones without credentials or research, they're selling you a dream and not a cure. I know it's a lot of, people on the internet who are making this their life's work and things like that. But I just want you to know that as long as they're selling you something, that is their main goal, is to sell you a product, a lifestyle, whatever it is. But you really want to do your due diligence and go see a specialist. And so I really encourage critical thinking and seeking credible sources when exploring solutions. And so, with that being said, how do you take control of your health? Like, what are some of the practical steps to advocate for yourself? And I just want to recommend a book because my doctor recommended it to me. It's called It's Not Hysteria: Everything You Need to Know About Your Reproductive Health, But We're Never Told. I really like this book because it's incredibly comprehensive. And like, if you're a person that doesn't really know all that you need to know just about reproductive health, and it's okay not to know, we didn't really get comprehensive learning while we were in school. This is where you're going to learn about everything from fibroids to PCOS, right, to even like certain diseases that exist in the body. Like, everything you need to know about reproductive health is in this book, and I really strongly encourage you to go and read it because it will help you in just understanding how your body is working, and to again to further identify like if you're having any symptoms and what is the right approach that you should take. And then I also want to tell you guys that you should track your symptoms and your hormones. So I have a pain diary and I use it so that I can let my doctor know exactly what's happening with me. Because again, they're just going to put you in a certain box. They're going to try to mask it. They're going to say, oh, okay, well then let's do this, let's do that for her. But we know that there's not enough information out on reproductive health. If take it even further with me specifically, chronic pelvic pain, endometriosis, and just a slew of other reproductive health abnormalities. And so, what better way to help further research than they have a really specific, clear picture of what you are going through? So, I recommend a pain diary that talks about your pain levels, anything that you're experiencing in your body, like whether that be, let's say, blood clotting, irregular bleeding, all those things, how you feel, if any medicine that you've taken, like they need to know all of this. Like, unfortunately, we got to help them so that they can help us. And that's just what it is. So I just want you to use a journal, and sometimes you could use period tracking apps or just keep a journal to monitor your cycle, your symptoms, and any changes over time. And then I also want to let you guys know that you can pre-order my ebook, which is called Pain Unheard, Strength Unmatched. And this ebook is a step-by-step guide to identifying reproductive health abnormalities and advocating for care. And reason why I'm writing this ebook is because if it were not for two women who helped me to basically say these are the steps to take so that you can actually get the diagnosis that you deserve. Because before that, I was going to the doctor like 2 or 3 times a week. I'm telling you guys, they were all inside of me. It was MRI this, vaginal ultrasound this. I mean, I ended up getting pelvic floor therapy. I mean, they were just, you have to be incredibly comfortable with your body, to have them all inside of it all the time. And the reality is they just didn't even know what they were doing. And so if it were not for my two friends for helping me to navigate this process, telling me what questions to ask, what kind of doctor should I be looking for, what kind of test I should be taking, like just what this looks like the road ahead, how you can best be supported, then I would not be here at a diagnosis today. And so I've taken what they have told me and what I have learned as well, and I have put this in an ebook so that you can be empowered to go and advocate for your care. I know it isn't easy, but it's necessary, and you have the right to ask the questions, demand the answers, and receive the care that you deserve. Okay? So, look, we're at the end. This is not a long one. My final call to action to you guys is just to educate yourself, listen to your body, and demand better care from healthcare providers. Also, I want to encourage you to share this episode with friends and family. There's another woman out here struggling, and you can help her, right? Help a sister out, ladies. Okay? Each one teach one. It is okay that we have not learned what it is, our reproductive health in extent. But what I do know is that if you are struggling, if you are having some pain, if you are having irregular periods or brain fog or anything that just doesn't seem right, if you're gaining weight and you don't know why, right, share this episode with them so that they can get a better idea and begin to start the process of advocating for themselves. Again, I'm walking this journey with you. So if you need support, resources, or just a listening ear, I'm here. But what I want you to know is that I need you to take control of your health. We are in this together. Okay? So again, you guys know you can find me across all social media like TikTok, LinkedIn, Threads, YouTube, or wherever the next app pops up. I have a private monthly get together every month where this is a safe space where we could talk about anything holistically, right? I help in the categories of emotional health, reproductive health, and also just helping creative entrepreneurs. So helping you navigate your businesses, but really just getting to the life that you deserve. And so if you are having some challenges and you want to have a safe space to talk about it so that you can be encouraged, also receive resources, this is not a coaching call, then you want to get into the private monthly get together. It's going to be somewhere around here. Click the link and sign up for the next one. And then you always have the option to work with me one-on-one. And again, this is for people who are ready for deep transformational work. And we want to work through whatever challenges that you are having. And we want to make sure that we are putting you on the pathway to growth and healing and fulfillment. Okay? I care about y'all. I really, 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 really do. I just want to let you know in the next episode that we're going to be talking about like how you can hold space for yourself. How can you remember God's promises for your life? Because sometimes life gets crazy and you got to remember the God that you serve, the God that you love, the God that you submit to. You got to rest on his promises. And so in the next episode, that's what that's going to be. So make sure you're here for it. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next episode.